Haribo, Dandavad.
Dandavad Pranam Maharaj. Haribo.
Dandavad, Haribo, Dandavad.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Maharaj. Dandavad.
Dandavad, Dandavad.
Dandavad Didi.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavad.
Dandavad Rose.
Ross, Dr. Ross, I'm so happy Krishna has sent you back to us again. Very happy to see you. Happy Hanukkah. Today is, this week is Hanukkah, no? Yes, from Thursday, I think, huh? So how's everyone? Everyone cold there in Spain? You all have
Yeah, Maharaj. It's cold in Spain.
It's been cold here, but today is very warm. It's almost 60 degrees today with Fahrenheit.
Wow.
So, yes,
Wow.
it got very warm. Night is very cold, but today is very warm. So, good in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Uma Devi, how are you? My dandavats to you.
Fine, Maharaj. Dandavad Pranam Maharaj. By your grace, I'm okay, Maharaj.
Right. Very happy.
Thank you.
So, we did not see you the whole of Kartik. Kartik is the most auspicious month. You were doing parikram? Or doing just your research?
Yeah, my research and applying to graduate schools.
And?
Graduate schools.
Okay. So let us chant Vandanam. Vandeham.
Vandeham.
Sri Guru.
Vandeham Sri Padakamalam.
Sri Guru
Vaishnavam Sita.
Sri Rupam Sahajatam. Sahajanam.
Bhagana Raghunatham Tam Sudevam. Advaita
Haryana Sahitam. Krishna Chaitanya Devam.
Krishna Chaitanya
Radha.
Sri Radha
Lalita.
Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sudevam.
Oh, Nanjana Timiram
Guru Varga
Korva Vishta
Supurakan Surugainaya Kita Sambu Shita Chita Samastamina Nipuna Sirupa Pantanugam
Govinda Mujjala Moram Sundaram Vande Svagurum Chat Divya Bhagavate
Devam
Devam Divyatanam Chandravatanam Balarakachiram Chittam Sandharananda Puram Satyeka Varanam Vairagya Vidya Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vande Tam Sugatam Vadyeka Sharanam Maya Siswaram Sridharam
Sri Siddhanta
Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gaudiya Gauranvaye Mato Banarvaya Prabhata Gaganoyo Gaura Sankirtanaya Mayavada Timingalodhara Kathanudhara Ite Jivanam Krishna Prema Subhati Gahana Sukam Sudatam Bhaje
Namo
Namo Gaura Kisaraya Bhakti Vidota Murtaye Gaurari Purnabringaya Radha
Vande Bhakti
Bhakti Satsanga Samrayam Radharasa Shuddhanidhim Radharayatita Sheshai Vaisnave Bhagyaviraha Jagana Prabhuvante Premavindira Vaisnava Manchakal Pataruyasha Kripa Sindhuyaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanneyo Vaisnaveyo Namo Namaha Panchatatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Satkikam
Namo Mahabharaya
Krishna 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 Chaitanya Name Gaura Vise Namaha
Jayata
Jayata Srata Pangor Mama Namaste Pasarva Palangojao Radhamana Mohana Vidya Kalpatmaha Srimadrangara Simha Sastau Sirgangarva Siragovinda Devau Prestalivi Sermanamis Marami Devana Sanga Sarvi Bhakti Vagadata Sita Karsam Venus Vareri Gopi Gopinata Sri Yestuna Vrindayai Tulasi Deviyai Priyayai Kesavasya Krishna Bhakti Pramedevi Satyavanyai Namo Namaha Atana Tua Mantra Guru Guru Bhagavatam Yasatya Guru Nata Tatoyaya Muriyaye
Jai Sapari
Sri Guru Ganga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Parampanya Yasu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Siravada Galasara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
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 Ramo
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ramo
Hare
Ramo
Rama
Ramo Hare
Rama Rama
Hare
Hare Hare
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Bhakti Niskam Santa Maharaja Ki Jai,
Jai
Srila Govardhana Ki Jai,
Jai
and Samaveda Bhaktivinda Ki Jai, all glories to the
Jai
devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol
Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai
Start with number 13, huh? Text number 13, text We're in chapter, what is it, 5? Chapter 5 of Prapanna-jivanamrtam. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribhajagacharya Astatana Santa Sripad Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaja ki Jai. Jai Prapanna-jivanamrtam ki Jai.
Jai.
So text number 13 on page 85. Bahir Anyata Padarshayatopi Swarupata Pala Katvam Rakshakasyapi Tavad Utasha Utsaha Maheshatum Tava Padapakan Pankajam Usanirastopi Sishu Stanandayo Najatamatu Stradano Jahasti from Sri Prapanna-Acharya. He is our natural guardian, even if he shows us otherwise externally. Huh? Oh, Almighty Lord, even if you make me hopeless, I can never leave your lotus feet in any condition. If the mother becomes angry and separates her child from her breast, does the child thereby leave the feet or shelter of his mother? Very nice, huh? Just like a baby. Baby has no independence, huh? Can't live on his own. Especially in the human form of life. Excuse me. In the human form of life, especially the child, baby, has no possibility of surviving on his own without the mother's help. Other animals also are like that. Some animals are like that. Some animals, they can produce a child and immediately the kids get up and they walk around and they can do everything. But many animals and human beings, of course, the child is very dependent upon the mother for its survival. Otherwise, it would not be able to live. So devotee has that kind of dependency upon the Lord. And my Lord, if you leave me helpless, hopeless, whatever the situation, I have no other choice. I have nowhere else to go. No way I could possibly live without your grace. So even if you may treat me a little indifferently or whatever, or roughly, or negligently, child has no choice but to depend upon his mother, depend upon his Lord. Hare Krishna. Natural guardian. Text number 14. Tad itara shrayat shraya bhavat tasyai vaika rakshatavam rakshatavam rakshakatvam Pumo skalita puranam paranam pumir eva volambanam vahijata paradanam tvam eva sharanam prabho. Skanda Purana. Yes. He is proven to be the only shelter, since there is actually no shelter but him. For those who have stumbled and fallen upon the ground, that very ground is the only support by which they can arise once again. Likewise, for those who have offended you, O Lord, you alone are their only refuge. What can we do? Huh? Krishna is the origin. Huh? Huh? Aham sarvasya prabhavo. It tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the source of everything. The whole thing rests upon me. You are here because I am there. So you have no independent existence, no being without me. We may wander in so many different directions away from Krishna and think ourselves independent, but it is never possible. We may get into so many situations, forgetfulness and sorrow and what we want to call depression, so many different things. They feel very much abandoned, hopeless. But it doesn't change the situation. The ontological position of the Lord and our relationship with Him does not change. So just like once someone who gets up, a child may try to walk, and then he falls again, getting up and falling again and again. And even a non-child, living entity, they may get into so many difficult situations where they fail. We're failing again and again in so many endeavors that we have. But the ground is always there again to stand up. And when we fall down, we have to push ourselves up from the ground. So like that, the ground of reality. Krishna is the ground of all reality, the shelter, that substantial platform upon which everything else is standing.
I got one verse. The pearls on a thread.
I'm sorry?
The pearls on a thread.
The pearls on a thread, huh? Just like the pearls are on a thread, they are able to stay in a line around your neck only because there's a thread there. Otherwise, they would not be able to stand up like that. So like that, each one of us is an individual, and yet all these individuals are somehow together, united. We are united in one individual, one reality, universe. In the material sense, it's a universe. There's one unity and diversity. And that in the same way in the conscious world, Krishna is the one consciousness, the universal, and we are all united in that consciousness. We're all, what do you want to say, fragments, determinations of that one consciousness. What did Prabhupada used to say? Part and parcel. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are the parts. But we must not forget the whole of which we are parts. Otherwise, part doesn't mean anything. I was thinking one time of an example when I was talking to someone about wholes and parts, that if we take a piece of pizza, one piece of pizza is one part of a pizza. But when we say, do you want a piece or do you want a slice? We don't just say piece or you want a slice. They'll say, a slice of what? So you have to say you want a slice of pizza. If you don't say pizza, they won't know what the slice is all about. So this piece, the slice, you have to also express the whole of which it is the piece. Otherwise, people will not know what you're saying. No one will understand what you're talking about. So when you say piece, you have to say piece of what? Slice of what? The whole is there in the part. In the same way, we are not just parts, individuals, without knowing what we are individuals in or of, what we are parts of. If we have that kind of life, which we don't know what we're part of, we have a very empty kind of life. It's not complete. It can never be complete. Only to know that you're a piece, without knowing what you're a piece of. So the whole is there in the part. And Krishna is there in everyone's heart. So he is always there, and you are always part of that. And without knowing that, without understanding that, then you are simply an empty name, an abstraction, a piece, without knowing what you're a piece of. Like that. Nira Shrayanam Evaika Shrayaha. Text number 15. Vivida Pande Pranti Vigara Gadhe Palavati Pavapure Majatome Vidure Asarna Gana Bando Akripa Kamudino Dino Sakrit Akrita Vilamban Dehi Hasta Valavam Hasta Valambam. This is from Rupa Goswami, huh? The only shelter for the shelterless. I am drowning in some remote region of a fathomless, treacherous ocean. The vast sea of frustration swept by the tide of hallucination. O friend of the shelterless, O benediction moon, please just once now lend me your helping hand. I often give this example. I like this example of drowning in the ocean, huh? In a vast ocean, if somehow or other we wound up there in the ocean, shelterless means we have no place to seek shelter, safety. We nowhere to get out from the drowning ocean, from the treacherous ocean, its waves and the sharks and the fishes that are coming to eat us. The water that we can't drink. Nothing. Shelterless. That's the meaning of shelterless. We have nowhere to seek safety, seek a respite from the drowning condition. So it's very nice the way Rupa Goswami here explains the vast sea of frustration swept by the tide of hallucination. Beautiful. Huh? Beautiful way he's expressing this. Material world. Sea of frustration. whenever we try to seek some satisfaction, something to hold on to in this world, very hard to find that, some satisfaction. Very unfortunate position. I think sometimes of those people in Ukraine or Gaza, the Palestinians and the Israelis too, they're in the midst of war, of bombs falling on their heads, being killed. They're just ordinary people from some explosion. They're not, they're just trying to live their ordinary lives, get some food to eat, some place to sleep, some place to be warm, and to enjoy the company of their families, of friends. I try to live their lives in a very noble way, whatever. And yet they are denied that somehow by all these explosions, bombs. They have no any gripe against anybody. Somebody is fighting, and they're getting the result of that. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. And even though we may not have any bombs falling on our heads, but still, we run into so many situations where, things happen to us that we're not expecting. Why? People can be so unkind to one another, unthinking in their relation. We all want to be friendly to all, knowing we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And yet, some people want to be indifferent or even cruel to one another. But that is the material world. When we become Krishna conscious and the community of devotees, that kind of thing should not exist. Sometimes we find that even among the community of devotees, unfortunately. And then what? We have to seek that which is higher. It is there, it exists. We accept that there is that perfect existence. It must be there. The ideal. Hegel taught ideal realism, the philosophy of ideal realism. He taught that the ideal is the real. What we take to be real in this world is only a hallucination. Because it's so imperfect. We are seeking perfection, but we are surrounded by imperfection. If we were not perfect, then we would not see imperfection. You can't see imperfection unless there's some higher platform, some antithesis to imperfection. Very important principle to understand, that you see one thing then the negative thing must also be present. Prabhupada gave one example. He said, if everyone were blind, we could not say blind. In order to say blind, there must be somebody who can see. So we have to, thesis and antithesis both go together. We cannot say one thing without understanding the opposite. So you can't say imperfection without knowing what perfection is. So somehow we know what perfection is. And that's the basis, that's the standard on which we can talk about imperfection. And in Hegel's philosophy, he says that exists. That perfect thing is the reality. And anything that doesn't meet that standard, that is what is crumbling. This life is full of death, of crumbling, destruction. Why? Because it's not perfect. It doesn't meet the standard, so it cannot stand. That not standing is also a process that what you might call the dying process is the process actually of coming to perfection. Because if what is not perfect is that crumbles or dies, then we can see this world is full of imperfection. But what is it coming to? What is that death? Why is that dying necessary to bring us to perfection? That is the process of perfecting itself. You know, if you talk about progress, you want to say some things are progressing. What does progress mean? Progress means that what is has to change. What is has to die. Otherwise, what's the question of progress? Progress doesn't mean that things stay the same. That's not progress. That's static. That's sterility. That's reification. Progress means that there's something and then it has to change. Something else. Something new. So that means that something has to die. Has to disappear. Then the new thing can come. And that is the process of life. Huh? You were a baby when you were born, and that body is gone. The baby body is finished. You can say it died. It did literally, even biologically, that body is no longer existing. None of the molecules are there. So we're in a process of change, of progress. We think it's just dying and then finished. But no, it's part of our process of living. Living means dying also. So if we don't know what it is that we're progressing toward, that we're seeking perfection in, then it becomes very bewildering. What is going on? We're just living and dying, finished. There's no goal. There's nothing we are achieving. There's nothing to achieve. No, that means our vision is what do you want to say? Blocked off. Hmm? Our vision is imperfect. Our knowledge is imperfect. Even knowledge itself is an imperfection. Why? Knowledge is an imperfection. Why is that? How is that possible? How can you know? Can you know something? But is it true? You can know so many things, but is it true? Truth and knowledge are not the same thing. You may have some knowledge, but you don't know what is the truth. Your knowledge may not be true. Look at Newton, Isaac Newton. He discovered the laws of motion. Force equals mass times acceleration, and so many different laws he discovered. Laws of the motion of the stars. And then came along Einstein. And he said, no, it wasn't like that. It's like this. He showed that there was no such thing as gravity. Once one student came, he told about the law of gravity, and that was true for about 100 years or more. And then Einstein came along and said, no, there's no such thing. Then what is the truth? All that knowledge that was presented by Newton was completely thrown out. Gravity has nothing to do with attraction of one body to another. Some mysterious force between bodies. Even when Newton presented that idea, they were skeptical. How is there an invisible force acting on things that pulls the apple to the ground? What is that invisible force? Isn't that just making some kind of superstitious, magical belief? When he presented that idea, they actually thought about that. It was very, what did you call it, revolutionary to say there's some invisible force. Before him, people always thought that in order to have some force on something, you had to touch it in some way. The things had to come in contact with each other. There was no idea of a magical connection between things that cannot be seen. Anyhow, Einstein overthrew that idea. He knew it. It was ethereal. And he showed it even in a more ethereal way. He told that gravity is due to the curvature of space. In mathematics, there's whatever space is conceived in mathematics, there's also a factor called curvature. And he told that gravity is effective as the just an implication of that curvature effect of space. Totally new idea. So hallucination. We think we have knowledge, but that knowledge does not necessarily have to do anything with truth. We have so much knowledge. It can actually be an obstacle to truth because we think, oh, I know so much. We have our chemistry and our physics and our biology and our astronomy and the economy, and we have this and that and the other thing, and our psychology. Is it true? Is what we know the truth? And what is the way of establishing the connection between knowledge and truth? Philosophers have been arguing that point for centuries. one philosopher, Immanuel Kant, he said we cannot know the truth. The thing in itself, he said, we're forever separated from that. Because all we can know is what we know. What we know, what we're conscious of, what are phenomena, how things appear to us. We can only know what appears to us, what is appearing to us, but we cannot know that which is appearing. So what appears to us, we call that knowledge. What is in our consciousness, we call that knowing. But what there is to know, how do we get to that? So knowledge can be a cloud, like a cloud, that covers the truth, rather than a means of arriving at it. And it's said in the scriptures, what is that verse? Jnane payasya utapasya namanta eva. Devotees hatefully reject knowledge, jnana. They hatefully reject that because they know that knowledge is not the same as truth. Even Newton, in his humility, he told that I have just found some shiny pebbles on the beach. I've examined some shiny pebbles on the beach, and before me lies the whole ocean of uninvestigated truth. That's a quote from him. He understood quite well of whatever knowledge he had acquired. That was nothing compared to what truth is. What we know, that's called certainty. We are certain of what is the facts that are within our consciousness. That is called certainty. But truth and certainty are not the same thing. We may be certain of some things. We may be certain that this is that. But that does not mean that is the truth. You can be certainly wrong, in other words. We all think we know what is what. But we don't. Nobody, not really in that way. Anyone who thinks like that really don't know what they're talking about. And Socrates was wise enough to say that. I only know that I don't know anything. Yes, that is a proper conception. But then what is what are we to do in that circumstance? What's the solution? How do we get to the truth? Are we forever prohibited? Is life forever a tease? Simply teasing us? And we must remain in this, what do you call it? Place between heaven and hell. What is that called?
Limbo.
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 What is that?
Purgatory.
Purgatory. That's it. We must remain in this purgatory.
Purgatorio, sí. Yeah.
Purgatoria, huh?
Yeah, Maharaj. El purgatorio es limbo.
So there's heaven, there's hell, and there's purgatory, right? So heaven, let's say, is the truth. And hell is what? Is thinking we know the truth when we don't have any idea of it. And we're stumbling in darkness and ignorance and thinking we know what everything is. So which one are we in? We're in the middle. A devotee coming to Krishna consciousness, they may find themselves in purgatory. Yes, I don't know everything. And I don't know the truth either. But I know it's there. It must be there. Otherwise, nothing, how I can make sense of anything. So, Hari-Anandaji, what do you think is the solution?
Maharaj, the only solution is faith in Gurudeva, in the scripture and Lord Supreme and devotee, because one person is impossible get the truth. Get the truth is not necessary. Only necessary faith in the Gurudev. Is one soul faith in Gurudev, Lord Supreme, and Scripture is perfect. No other thing is not necessary because the mind is little. We little, no, my little no get the universe law is impossible. Impossible law, material law, spiritual law is impossible. But for the grace, the Guru and Vaishnava, all is possible. Only for grace, the Gurudev and Vaishnava, all is possible. We are depending of the old Gurudev and Vaishnava. For me, this is unique way. No other way is false. Only way is surrender with Gurudev and Vaishnava. For me, Maharaja.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaja.
So ever hear of Veda?
Maharaja, for example, limbo, purgatory, this is Christian explication for the, but here, in this moment, is limbo, is purgatorio, because in this world is war, no peace, misery. This world, material world is misery. No, no es necesario. purgatorio. No es necesario. This is purgatorio. Entonces, in this, in material world, infinite, one. Take 4 in the Gurudev. Gurudev represent the Krishna, el infinito. Une con finito.
But who is Guru? Guru is called what? Tattva Darshana. You know, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Tadvidi Pranipatena Paripastena Sevaya
Upadekshanti te
Upadekshanti Te Jnanam
Upadekshanti te janam jnani nice tatadar.
Jnani nice Tattva Darshana.
Yeah.
So what does that Tattva Darshana mean? Well, Tattva means truth. And Darshana means to see. The Tattva Darshana, who knows the truth? Then how does Guru know the truth? We can get from Guru, therefore, truth. Tattva Darshana. But how does Guru get that Tattva? He is just like us. We are trying to rise up by our knowledge. Why isn't he doing this? How come he's in a different position than us? He's just another man. Huh? So Veda is called Apurusha or Apurusheya. It is not compiled by any man. It is knowledge or truth not compiled by any man. Then what is it? It is called Shabda Praman. It is revealed knowledge. Revealed how? Krishna reveals that knowledge to Brahma, and Brahma to his disciples and so forth, to the present time. It is coming because of revealed knowledge. We are finite, and that knowledge, that truth is infinite, beyond whatever finite knowledge anyone can ever have. And it's only by revealing itself. The infinite reveals itself through his representative, the Guru, that we can get some access, some hints of what is that truth of which we are all part, not by our attempt to acquire knowledge. Our attempt to acquire knowledge is like putting a cloud in front of the sun. Our knowledge is like a cloud. It clouds our vision of the actual truth. And the whole method of acquiring knowledge itself is a self-interested, self-motivated endeavor. And that self-motivated endeavor is also the result of ignorance of our real position as part of a whole greater than ourselves. If we take ourselves to be the whole, if the slice of pizza takes itself to be the whole pizza, and it doesn't even know it's a pizza that it's a slice of, then this is Maya, this is hallucination, hallucinatory existence.
Maharaj,
Yeah.
Veda is compared Veda con vision. Veda is vision of reality, vision of the truth. Yes
Veda?
or no?
Veda, he's asking,
Veda.
does Veda, he's saying Vid, to see.
Oh,
Vision of the truth. Veda is vision of the truth.
Vision of the truth, you can say. Of course, Veda is the, Krishna says, aham, what is that? Vedaischa sarvam, aham deva Vedo. I am the Veda. I am the author of the Veda. And I am the knower of the Veda. So that's not different from Krishna. You can say it's his emanation, his revelation. We can know the truth by revelation, not by our own discovery. Of course, we may, by Krishna's grace, also by some incredible fortune, if we are really sincere, Krishna may reveal himself to those who are fortunate, to those who have that sukriti, that goodness, that qualification of unselfishness, of purity of love. Of genuine regard for something more than themselves. Krishna can direct us from the heart. It's not only Veda, and not only Guru, but from the heart also. Is there. Sarvasya chaham riddhi shanimisto. I am there within your heart. So Mahanta Guru. Mahanta Guru means the Guru who is visible to us. And not different from the Chaitanya Guru who is in our heart. So we should not think why I should take Mahanta Guru. I have my Chaitanya Guru. But if you think like that, that's foolish. There's no difference. What your heart wants, Guru is there also to satisfy that. Does that. That is actual Guru. And give our heart satisfaction. Because he's not teaching some kind of opinion. And not teaching knowledge of his own making. There are so many competitors for your heart on that kind of knowledge, that kind of system. That is not fulfilling. Only the genuine Guru has surrendered his life to Krishna, surrendered to his Guru, can receive that knowledge by Krishna's grace. Even then, what can we do? We are imperfect. But something is there. At least we can know the ultimate result, the ultimate purpose. Krishna, that cannot be denied. The details, that's another thing. That depends on what is revealed in our own hearts or in the heart of Gurudev. And we can learn in that way through paripratena, pariprastena, and sevaya. Paripratena means through humility, by questioning, and by serving. And that's the process of the revealed scriptures telling us how to come in touch with that truth. There we'll find a proper education, proper learning. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Anna Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Uma Devi ki Jai.
Madhava.
Jai Bhakti Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai. Srila.
Maharaja.
Puri Maharaj ki.
Jai.
Jai.
Very nice class.
Prabhu, are you eating okay? You look very thin.
Yeah, I've had difficulty with my diet after my travels. But yeah, I'm figuring it out. Thank you. Yeah.
You want to come to our house? We will feed you, give you some good prasad, and you can get some weight back again.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to visit maybe later this month. Be nice.
I heard that you want to you have very many restrictions in your diet.
Yeah, I eat very simply because otherwise I have trouble digesting. But it's things like khichdi and beans and rice and vegetables and
You know what garanga potatoes are?
oh yeah, that's tough. Yeah, cheese and potatoes, that's not so great. Yeah.
I'll have to see. We'll have to come. I'll give you a good boost to your energy and to give you a little bit more substance. Otherwise, you're going to disappear on us.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't have to become as visible as I am, but a little bit because. Okay. My humble dandavats to everyone. Please be good.
Dandavad Maharaj. Dandavad devotee.
My love to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj devotee. I love you.
Love you.